Welcome, folks, to the new episode of Trek Simplified, this being the first episode of Season 5, where we will be covering vessels of note of the Romulan Star Empire, ranging all the way back from the 23rd century all the way up until modern times, or so they say. In this series, we are going to be, or in this season, we are going to be covering probably 5, maybe 6 ships of note, starting off with in chronological order from biggest to from size-based order from biggest to smallest, covering birds of prey, warbirds, and maybe a few others. So strap in, buckle up, here we go. Because in today's first episode, we will be covering the 23rd century bird of prey. Gaining its name from the bold pattern of birds' feathers painted on the ship's ventral hull, the Romulan bird of prey may have been in service by the early 21st century, when one was allegedly photographed on Earth. The Federation Starfleet first encountered this vessel in 2266, when a single ship of this type crossed the Romulan neutral zone and attacked several border outposts, destroying them utterly. The USS Enterprise responded to the alert and engaged in a tense game of cat and mouse with the intruder for more than 10 hours before the bird of prey was destroyed. This ship was also encountered in an alternate timeline experienced by Captain Pike in 2266. The Romulans later used larger numbers of this ship to patrol their borders with the Federation in force. Typically during an incursion, one bird of prey would bring a starship out of warp with a plasma torpedo to allow the ships in its battle group to attack the target en masse. When the Enterprise violated the neutral zone on the orders of Commodore Stoker, in 2267, it was ambushed by a squadron of 10 birds of prey. Information on this class of starship was assimilated in 2375 by the Borg drone 1 from the database around the USS Voyager. At least 3 Romulan birds of prey had survived until 2380, one of which was on display as a museum exhibit on Vulcan, where it was used to infiltrate Romulan space for a rescue mission. Another bird of prey was owned by the warlord Kar Kontar, and was used to attack La Serena in orbit of the planet Vashti in 2399. The ship, referred to as an antique, was later disabled after combined fire from La Serena and an unknown attack vessel severed the starboard nacelle. The bird of prey still managed to score a direct hit on the attacking vessel, which caused it to collide with the planet's defense grid. A third Toulouse class was on display at the Federation or at the Fleet Museum on Athen Prime. As for its technical data, its physical arrangement is thus. The Romulan bird of prey was designed with a sole primary hull configuration with 2 attached nacelles. Gray in color with its namesake bird design painted on the hull, the bird of prey was essentially a saucer with parallel warp nacelles mounted port and starboard of the main body. The after the ship was designed with a raised fin. As for its tactical systems, prior to the first engagement between this class of vessel against the Federation in 2266, it was asked by USS Enterprise Captain James T. Kirk if this type of vessel could be engaged with, and I put in air quotes, a reasonable possibility of victory, end air quotes. Chief Engineer Montgomery Scott responded, in quote, "No question. Their power is simple impulse," end quote. The ship's invisibility screen consumed an enormous amount of power. Although incapable of matching the Federation's Constitution-class starship one-on-one, the ship still featured technological advances that were previously unattainable to Federation science, the invisibility screen and the massively powerful plasma torpedo being among them. This class of starship had a single forward-mounted torpedo launcher, It was also armed with at least 2 forward-firing disruptors. The ship carried a number of old-style nuclear warheads for the purpose of self-destruction. Though not attached to a delivery mechanism, they could be fitted with proximity fuses and used as makeshift mines. With these combined abilities, the bird of prey was able to strike at enemies at will, practically undetected and unchallenged. Last but not least, is the interior design. The main bridge featured a rather small command center, providing access to 4 computer terminals facing each other in a centrally located console. Each terminal had a scope. The terminals maintained the vessel's course control, tactical and cloaking systems. No seating was provided for any of the officers. The bridge had direct access to a corridor in the aft, and a view screen in the forward section. Last but not least, the bird of prey, stolen by members of the USS Cerritos crew in 2380, had a large bridge more similar to the ones found in the 24th century. Yeah, guys, that about covers everything on Memory Alpha that is listed for this particular ship. We are at about 6 minutes and 30 seconds, so I will give my personal feelings on the what I now know to be called the Talis class of bird of prey. Where honestly, as a kind of, I guess you could call it a bird of prey, like a scavenger bird, I guess, using the avian not nomenclature, but the avian analogy. This is definitely a vulture. It's definitely a scavenger, good for swooping in and ambushing people, especially when in large numbers. This thing can take on big opponents and not have a problem. In that role, I would have to rate it a 4.5 out of 5. In any other role, it's garbage. Enough said. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell icon so you never miss an episode. Stay tuned for the outro to find out how you can best support my work financially. I'm Michael Schockman. I've been your host and commentator. Good night, good luck, and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching, folks. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell icon so you never miss an episode. Secondly, if stream bucks are plentiful, please consider supporting the channel either by subscribing on Twitch, pledging on Patreon, or by grabbing some merch over at the Shock Shop. The links to all of these will be in the About section and in the description down below. Again, thank you to all of our supporters for all of the likes, shares, and views. I really appreciate it, and without all of you, our work here would not be possible. I'm Michael Schockman, folks. I've been your host and commentator. And remember, keep it real, keep it safe, keep it healthy, and we will see you guys all again soon in the next one. Peace off, everybody.